The member seeking reply.
Yes.
Diane Fenton.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Well, Mr Speaker, I can't say I'm surprised at the response from the National and ACT parties and their decision to vote against this bill. I don't think the people of Rodney are going to be particularly surprised, because it's just another event in a very long pattern of them being let down by their parliamentary representatives, of being ignored, of being put through a ridiculous process, an undemocratic process. And I'm sure the members on the other side will be hearing from them directly. And I'm sure also it will be noted that there has been no contribution from those particular members in this debate. I do want to thank the Greens and the Māori Party. I know that Dave Clendon has been, as he said, around the district, and certainly I have with colleagues Phil Twyford and Rajan Prasad. And for the information of the member from the ACT Party, I actually live in Taupaki, which is in the Rodney district, and nobody has actually asked my opinion on that side of that side of Rodney. But however, but anyway, it is a sad day, as my colleague said, and what we're seeing is a pattern emerging, where this government is just willing to ride roughshod over local views and local opinion. And I do find it ironic. I mean, I like the comparison drawn by my colleague Rajan Prasad about the back down on mining, and that apparently is because the people have had their say, yet the people of Rodney have tried to have a say through a proper process. And let's just remind the House what that process entails. A local bill is not something that I just draw up and bring to this House. A local bill has to go through a very complicated process, a legal process that requires consultation with the local people, allows them to have the say. There has to be notifications, and the clerk has to be absolutely convinced that that process has happened. So even though I felt privileged to take up this local bill, Mr Speaker, and put my hand up, I do believe that the members in the local area have some explaining to do. And I would have thought if the government was so confident about their process and what's come out of a year's work on Auckland Super City, they would have welcomed a debate. They would have welcomed the chance for Rodney people to come and have a say through the only democratic means left to them, which is a local bill. And I think they deserve better from this government. The people of Auckland certainly deserve better. And as I said, it's been it's just following a trend that we're seeing from this government, ignoring local views. For example, the Canterbury decision just to fire all the board without any local consultation. The government, I think, has been intimidated by the very malevolent presence of the local government minister, Rodney Hyde, and I think so tainted has that name Rodney become. I wouldn't be surprised if there was an application to the Geographic Board to change the name. Oh, well, the Geographic Board can't change his name, but they could change the name of Rodney, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that at some stage. And I think I doubt this will be, they could call it Darien. There's a really good idea. That's right, the Darien district. That sounds pretty good to me. Mr Speaker, I doubt this will be the last time we hear from Rodney on this issue. All North Rodney, they've vowed to keep fighting. They will do it through the ballot box next year. Yeah. I wouldn't be too confident about that, about picking up those National Party votes next time. I wouldn't be too, you would be surprised about how many people are now saying, not just around this issue, but around a whole lot of other things like cuts to early childhood education and so on, all over the place, saying this government has to go. So in closing, Mr Speaker, I want to acknowledge all of those who are involved in bringing together this local bill. I want to acknowledge the Northern Action Group and the Wellsford Community Group. Those people went from farm to door, collecting 6,000 signatures to bring it to Parliament, to present it to the Minister, because they were promised they would be listened to. They've been let down once again. And I also want to recognise all the other groups in the community that have tried to contribute to the democratic process around what is a massive change. They've been let down. They've been promised. Promises have made. They've been let down. And I think this whole process has been awfully hijacked by this government. It's a very, very disappointing day for Rodney.
The debate